Good afternoon, August the 23rd, 2016. Time to wrap up our trading in our markets today. We came in this morning wanting to get long. We expected to take out the existing high at 21.90.75. We did by a couple of 3 ticks. The easiest trade to see was once again sell failure to take out and hold 91. Took a long time to develop. We were in a trade almost an hour. Ended up stopping out right here on this bar. Was the correct thing to do. Could have scratched the trade. Again, it pays to come in and start earlier. The E-mini gives you really good trades before the market opens. We'd hoped to buy the 80 to 83 area. We said it might take 85s to get in, and you can see right here 85s was it. 85s was it again for the second time. So right here, retest failure, lower high, retest failure. Just very slow trading. Very little volatility. I mean, we have a high of 91.5 and a low of 85.5. That's 6 points. That's 6 handles. This is not a effective way to spend your time. I mean, there are other markets that offer you more, but again, the early assessments were correct. Our support and resistance levels held up pretty well, and with a lot of patience and a little bit of faith, you could have been able to make money utilizing those. Looking at the F1 screen, we're going to see a new high. We exceeded the C high. We got a higher low, so find a place to buy it. But I mean, this is a tough contract to trade given the lack of volatility, and I don't see that improving. Looking at the profile, TPO wise or letter wise, it's a B. That's long liquidation. It's not long liquidation and new selling, but when you look at the volume, it's really a P. So I'm guessing a trading range tomorrow. Don't have much in the way of news. We have FHFA housing index up 0.3. Existing home sales 5.52. The housing numbers have been coming in stronger than forecast. Generally speaking, we guessed right today. And then the crude, gasoline, and heating oil contracts, and they'll be hoping for a draw. We've got the APIs tonight. The correlation's not very good between the APIs and the EIA, so the news focus tomorrow will be existing home sales. Again, the easiest trade to see is sell failure to take out and hold 91. Looking at our 8, sometimes 10-point trading ranges, 6 to 10. That would make 95, give or take, sell 2. On the buy side, 84, 86. And then the number 2 buy would 80, 82 for number 2, which is where we had hoped to get long this morning. I think if the large players wanted to make sure that the Fed did nothing at the end of the week, maintain their current programs, and I don't think they have to do anything because of the election, I would put a article out from some big firms just talking about how bad it was. The sales right around the corner, and hit the market really hard, based on the fact that the Fed's going to raise interest rates in September sooner rather than later, and then maybe that would make the Fed think twice about doing something like that. Higher low, higher high with the 10-year. We can buy it based on the F1 screen, and on the F2 screen it's a B. in and up market. I mean, I think we're going to have the same situation we were this morning, where 8 to 12 is resistance, maybe a little higher, 12 to 16. So 11 to 15, sell 1. 19 to 23, sell 2. On the buy side, trying to trade lower right here, so 1 to 5, buy 1. The intermediate term auction is the one they usually take lower, so we might have a shot of getting in at 25 to 29. Seems a stretch, but it is auction week and they do manipulate the markets to move the paper. Gold was pretty quiet. We've had a seller at 60 and a buyer at 40. I don't expect that to change. Market is trying to trade lower without a lot of success. Higher low, higher high. F1 says find a place to buy it. I think we're looking at a B. And pretty square. Volume's leaning B. So maybe we can buy it a little bit lower. So 39.41 for buy 1. 34.36 buy 2. Let them get stops outside the obvious but not break the market. On the sell side, 45.47, sell 1. 50.52, sell 2. Forgot the ZB, our favorite contract of late. That and crude oil. Okay, Mark. We've gone to 3 support and resistance areas on the bond, and we like what we were calling B1, B2 or S2 are now our S1 and our B1s, and we just put an area that could hold as support as number 1. So 8 to 12 could hold as support, so we'll make the buck to 03 buy 1. 21.25 buy 2. On the sell side, 20 to 24. Number 1, 27.31, sell 1, and then 7 to 11, sell 2. Lets them get stops outside of the obvious, and we've got enough volatility in the bond due to the knob spread that you got to give it some extra room. But the bond has just been fabulous this summer, and perhaps the lack of volume has really helped us with the extra volatility. Okay, crude, we have the APIs tonight. They always want to draw. There was an article out today, and I don't remember if I put it up or not in the room, where the shortfalls in Venezuela are absorbing the extra supply. And when we get done with this, Mark, I'll show you what's been happening in the bond that you're probably pretty aware of. And I don't know how to help you get up any earlier on the West Coast. That's asking a lot. I can get up 5-ish. If I get up at 4:30, I'm worse than numb. I don't know what that extra half hour does. Obviously, I'm not going to bed earlier, but which I could do. It's hard to do when the sunlight's out. I mean, right now, come September 1, the sun goes down at 8. My time on the deck when I get back in sunlight is quickly fading away, and we've had enough moisture right here that when the sun starts to go down, the mosquitoes come out, which I don't like. Lower high, lower low on crude, find a place to sell it. We had that article that Iran might cooperate, and they're pushing for 4 million barrels a day of production, up from their current 3.3. In the past, the way OPEC has handled Iran is they just have kind of ignored them because they've never been able to produce what they said they were going to produce. And but now with Western technology and all of the restrictions lifted by our government, Iran can bring up their production. In fact, Europe's been a little more restrictive on them than we have been, from what I read in the papers, so you have to take that with a grain of salt. 48 and a quarter, 48.50, sell 1, 48.75, 49, sell 2. On the buy side, I really have some trouble with getting long, so if we're not able to take out this S or today's highs right here, I think that sets up a nice sell for us. Now, I don't know how far it's going to go. If Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Russia are going to cooperate on their production, that means that they can come to an agreement, because the last time they didn't get an agreement, it was based on Iran. So this could be market-changing news. But asking them to actually cut production, that might be a stretch. Okay, the low volume numbers at 47 and a quarter, so stops below 50, 47 and a quarter, buy 1. 45, 46.50, 46.75, buy 2. Okay, we'll do the euro, and then I'll stop and button it up, and we'll go back and take a look at the early action in the bond. Higher low, higher high, D period, find a place to buy it. We're going to be looking at a B though on the F2 screen. And it looks like it's headed lower, and we have a new distribution that started in the 1345 area. So buy 1 will be 113 even, maybe 1290, and then 1275 buy 2. Now, if the U.S. does threaten to raise interest rates sooner rather than later, the euro should sell, because you can make more money on your money if you send it to the United States. Okay, last rotate up was 35, so 35 to 45, sell 1. 60 to 75, sell 2. Okay, that's it for this August the 23rd. Wrap it up, then I'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about the bond.